Converting units metric style. What is it? To change a measured quantity to a different unit of measure without changing the relative amount. Why? Helps in organizing numbers in an easier way. Interesting fact, badgers can run up to 30 kilometers per hour or 19 miles per hour for a short period of time. Now here we have this unit chart, and so let's go ahead and talk about that first. So as you can see, there are 7 different units. Some of them you recognize, some of you don't, but all of them are important. So in order to help you remember which one's which, you need to know the mnemonic, and mnemonics help you remember something easier, whether it's a sentence or a pattern. And in this particular circumstance, it's going to be a sentence. So if you remember the sentence, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, you can remember the units and in the correct order, which is the most important part. So once again, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. K for king for kilo. Henry, H for hecto. Died, D for deca. B, by for base. Base is without a prefix. So there's only one letter when you write it down that represents it. So as you can see, for gram, liter, and meter, there's only one letter, one G, one L, and one M. Now if we continue, drinking, lowercase d for deci, chocolate, lowercase c for centi, milk, lowercase m for milli. Okay, so and then on the far left, you see your unit conversions. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Now, and then look at the steps in order to do the conversion. You'll be golden if you follow them. Step 1, find the starting unit. Step 2, find the ending unit. Step 3, move the decimal that many spaces. So, and luckily for you, when we do this, you can realize that we can get rid of some of the units because they're not really used that often. But once again, you need to remember that mnemonic, because you need the place, the order matters. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 1. We have 12 meters to centimeters. So I've already written down the first letter of each mnemonic, or each word in the mnemonic rather. And so if we look at meters, there's only one letter, so that has to be the base. Okay, and cm is obviously for C. So we're going to write down start and end. And then we know we're going to go to the right. So that means my decimal is going to go to the right, which means I'm going to go ahead and write down the starting number. And as you can see, I've added some zeros at the end of 12 to help with the process. Okay, so sometimes you only have to add 1. Sometimes you have to add 3. Sometimes you add 0, and you can get lucky in those circumstances. So let's go ahead and move it 1 place value to the right. So when you do that, we move my decimal 1 to the right, and as you can see, it went from 12 to 120. And then next, you can see it went from 120 to 1,200. So 1,200 is your answer. Okay, you can write it with the decimal or not. It's going, in this particular circumstance, it is the same. So 2 spaces to the right, 2 decimals to the right. Now let's take a look at the next example. We have 0.055 kilograms to something grams. So this is just going to be the same process. So it doesn't matter if it's a decimal or if it's a whole number. So once again, let's go ahead and find the start and end. We know kilograms is going to be the start. We know by is going to be the end because there's only one letter, G. And so therefore, that is the end. So now we're going to go to the right. So we're going to go ahead and put the starting number. We're going to add 1 0 just in case at the end of the number to help us if we need it. And then finally, we're going to move 1 space to the right, where our decimal is going to move 1 space to the right, another space, and then the last one, and there you have it. And your answer is going to be 55. So 3 spaces to the right and 3 decimals to the right. So here we have another example. Once again, we have 66,500 liters to something kiloliters. So now we're going to go ahead and put the starting and end where we are. And then finally, we know we're going to go to the left. So that means my decimal is going to go to the left. And let's figure it out. So we're going to write the starting number, move the decimal over 1, another one, and finally the last one. And as you can see, your new number for being the same value is 66.5. Okay, so we went 3 spaces to the left, 3 decimals to the left. Now let's take a look at this example 4, 56 centimeters to something milliliters. So we're going to go ahead and write down the start and end, and then we're going to go to the right because that is what the end is. And then finally we're going to go ahead and start with writing down the number. We've added some zeros at the end of 56 to help us with the process, since we're going to go to the right. And then now we move one place value to the right, and 56 becomes 560. So we want 1 space to the right, 1 decimal to the right. So we take a look at 0.75 milliliters to something meters. So we write down the end and start. We know we're going to go to the left. Now we write down the original number, and we write some zeros in front of 70 of the number, so that it'll be easier to deal with when we do move the decimal. Move it to the left 1, to the left another, and finally 1 more, and your answer, and that will be your answer, 0.000750. Okay, so 3 spaces to the left, 3 decimals to the left as well. Fine. And then that number 6, convert 26 kilograms to something grams. So find your starting, your end number. Now we're going to go to the right, so that means my decimal is going to go to the right. Add your starting number, add some zeros at the end to help you, and then we're going to move it 1, move it another, move it 1 more time. So that means your answer will be 23,000, and 3 spaces to the right, or 3 decimals to the right. We have 2 more examples, and it'll be your turn. So we have 1,200 milliliters to kiloliters. So once again, write the start and end. This is going to be kind of a big one. So now we're going to go to the left. We're going to add some zeros to the left of the number to help us. And so we get 1 to the left, 1 more, 1 more, 1 more, 1 more, and finally we're at my end number. And you can write that number into the answer, and you get 0.0012 kiloliters as your answer, and 6 spaces to the left, 6 decimals to the left. Finally, your last number, we have 8,100 centiliters to something kiloliters. So let's go ahead and write down the start and end. So we know we're going to go left. We just write down the starting number. We add some zeros to the front to make it easier. We're going to move it 1. Move it 1 more. As you can see, the decimal is moving to the left, and the number is getting smaller. So my final answer is 0.081, 5 spaces to the left, 5 decimals to the left. Okay? So now it is your turn. So go ahead and pause the video to answer these questions at your own time. And I'm going to show you the answers in 3, 2, and 1. Here are the answers. If you got them correct, well done. If you didn't, there's always tomorrow.